Well, Kaya, I'm excited about this episode. I know we've been thinking about sharing our favorite things, and we're finally doing it. And a lot of our beeya family always asks us for our top tips for wellness or just like what inspires us, what keeps us motivated. So we're going to be sharing our top things today, which I'm excited about. So who should go first?
Oh my gosh.
I'm
I'm
actually curious about your.
curious about yours too. I know we have some fun things that we want to share. Um, I'll kick us off
Let's go.
if that's cool. Okay, let's do it. So at beeya, we talk a lot about something called endocrine disruptors, and all the experts that you and I talk to are like, you have to minimize your toxic exposure. Now, we can't live in a bubble, but there's certain things that we can do to reduce the amount of toxins in our lives. And I've been kind of taking a deep dive into our clothing because every expert is basically says, think of the places that you spend the most time in, your bed, think of your kitchen. And I'm like, well, also there's our clothes. Our clothes are literally touching our skin, especially for us women. We're in yoga pants all the time. We're working out. That's near our reproductive organs. And so I've been diving into this because I told you that unfortunately we had a flood in our house. And so I've had to get rid of a lot of clothes that got damaged in the flood. And I kind of thought, okay, if I'm rebuilding my wardrobe, what do I really want to do here? Do I want to just buy a ton of leggings from, everybody knows the most popular places to get leggings from? I won't call
Yeah,
them
we won't say it. I
out.
know.
Say it.
Don't say
But
it, Kaya.
um, or do I want to be really mindful about the clothes that I put on my body? Of course, this can get expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend just throwing out your whole wardrobe. There's a time and a place for us to do all of this. But I actually saw an article that 1 in 4 pairs of popular leggings was found to contain PFAS, which are forever chemicals. So this can lead to cancer. It can mess with our organs. It can mess with our fertility. And this is something that's been on my mind a lot lately. So there's 2 brands that I've been loving that I thought, okay, I have to get new workout clothes. So Packed is one. They have organic cotton. They have great like undergarments. I've always gone to them. And then Make the Label, which I think that brand is another great one that I got my yoga clothes from. So I'm kind of excited to slowly transition out. And for me, it's like not about the quantity of the clothing that I have, it's the quality. So I'm not saying, oh, let me just get hundreds of pairs of these leggings. It's more of a long-term investment. Okay, let me get like 5 really nice things that I'm going to be wearing all the time. And so it's just something that's been on my mind. And I'm excited to keep researching other companies out there.
I have a million questions right now. This is going to be like a Q&A podcast I'm going to do with Kaya now. But what are you doing with your existing ones? Have you just kind of put them aside as you've gone a few of these better brands?
Well, as I mentioned, some of my clothing had to be
Ruined?
thrown out. It got ruined in this flood. So
Yeah.
this was just timing for me.
Okay. Got it.
I think if it was another situation, I'd probably slowly start to phase those out. Because again,
Yeah.
throwing out clothes and putting them in landfill is also not great for our environment. So I don't recommend doing that. But, this is going to be more of a slower process of me replacing
Yeah.
some of the things that I wear every day. But 1 in 4 pairs of leggings, that's
I know. Well,
crazy.
it's funny because I knew this, and I'm not going to lie, this is something I haven't thought about for myself. I kind of had a blind eye. I was like, you know what? I'm already trying to do so many things. I know like living toxic free is tough. So I was like, okay, I know that could be tough. But what you said actually just really resonated. You're like, when we're working out, we're sweating. It's going into like our reproductive health. I'm like, shit, I didn't think about that. Like maybe the day to day clothes are fine, but maybe I get a few leggings at least when I'm doing like intense workouts because it's like seeping in, right? If you're like sweating and everything.
Yeah, and our skin is our largest organ, right? So everything that we put on our bodies and that's near our bodies, all that stuff makes a difference. And a lot of the clothing on the market contains endocrine disruptors. And so
Mm-hmm.
why that's scary is that they can interfere with our hormone production. They can interfere with just what our hormones are doing on a day-to-day basis. They can lead to hormonal imbalance. So it's top of mind for me, especially as I'm like considering my fertility journey again. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this is not to scare anybody, but there
Yeah.
are some really cool companies out there that are offering more non-toxic leisure, athleisure, I think they call it, and workout clothes.
No, I love it. I'm excited to check into that. No, that was a good one, Kaya. I'm even learning something new from her. So this is good. This
I'm
is
excited to
fun.
learn from you.
Well, you know the one I'm going to say. I was just sending it to you earlier today. But one thing that I'm really loving, and I'm going to give a shout out to our friend Sonia for posting about this and sharing, is a walking treadmill, like a walking pad. I might be late to the game, but we have tried so many different ones in the house. My husband got one, he's got like a few. And for me, I never really was excited about it because it seemed really heavy, and like I'm not realistically going to move something super heavy under my table and then when I'm not using it move it again. It just, I couldn't see it as part of my life. And then our friend Sonia was chatting about hers, and I was like, okay, is it heavy? Is it easy to move around? She's like, yeah, it's totally easy to move around. So that was a big selling point for me. And another one, this might be silly, but I wasn't sure, like, how do you work when you're walking, right? Because I like to, like, when I get in the zone, I'm used to sitting down and just like not having distractions and like banging things out. So I've never had experience walking, but she reassured me. She's like, listen, I go like 1 mile per hour, which sounds really slow, but listen, it's better than zero, right? Than like sitting.
Yeah.
So it finally came about last week and I love it. Like truly, I literally can I talk with experts every week and they're good reminders for us of like things to focus on. Like even we need the reminders of the basics. And I'm not going to lie, like getting 10,000 steps, I know I need to do it. I have not been hitting that mark. I don't even know for how long. And I was fully aware of it. I'm like, I try to get out to do walks, maybe 50% of the week I can get it. But there's some days where I just, in a bad way, like don't walk as much, or I'm just like in the zone in meetings or podcasts. So this, I love like wellness, quick, easy hacks that are easily incorporated in my lifestyle. And this is like, we all work, a lot of people work from home, have the flexibility. So why not get something that you can easily put under your desk? I do have what do you call it? Like
Standing desk.
a standing desk that's electrical. So I just thought if you don't have a standing desk, I know that there's things on Amazon that you can just prop up your laptop and then still use the walking treadmill that I have. But I love it. It's from Amazon. It's $199. So
Which is
not bad for. I was gonna say it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. Like I know we've gone in very expensive ones that literally have broken down, and I'm like, I want my money back. So I'm really excited about it. I know I sent it to you earlier today, Kaya, but I've been telling everyone. So shout out to Sonia. Thank you for putting it on my radar. I finally took the plunge and I'm going to live forever now.
No, seriously, you influenced me. Well, thank you, Sonia, who influenced Yasmin, and then Yasmin influenced me because I'm going to get it too. And I think our really good friend Deanna Minnick posted the other day that basically standing is better than sitting. So standing and laying down are better than sitting. Sitting is the worst. People who sit for 10 hours a day, their risk of death goes up significantly. So 1 mile per hour, I mean, listen, as long as you're standing up, like that's a huge victory on its own. And we'll link to this one in the show notes because again, it's pretty affordable and I'm excited to get it myself.
Yeah, and what was really cool too, I was like, okay, I have to put this whole thing together because the other one we got was so complicated. This came, it was easy. I was able to do it in like less than 5 minutes. It was perfect. And another hack, sorry, clearly when I get excited about stuff, I can't stop.
No, I love
But
it.
what's so cool is that you can even use it like if you're watching something on TV, you just roll it in there and you just put it out there and you do like 15 minutes. You don't even need to do a lot. So I just love it. It's been really fun.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to get this. It's going to be as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to go and purchase it on Amazon.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely a goal of mine to get more steps. It's been a goal of mine. There's some people out there who get like 20,000. My dad gets 20,000 steps a day. It's pretty amazing.
It is
It's
nice.
hard when you're working, especially when you're working from home. So this feels like a nice trick, basically.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, I'll share something. It's not a product, but I found it pretty interesting. I was reading a book or listening to a podcast. I can't remember. I'm constantly consuming interesting content, but somebody was talking about Benjamin Franklin's 13 virtues. And I thought this was really interesting. I'm not sure if you've heard of this before, Yasmin, but Benjamin Franklin, at a certain point in his life, kind of took inventory of his life and said, I'm not really liking the way that things are headed. I'm not loving my daily habits. I'm going to write down 13 things that are really important to me, kind of the way that a company would write down their core values, but for himself. So these are his 13 like core values. And I won't go through all of them, but I thought this was so interesting that I don't think many people, I certainly haven't done this, where I stopped and said, hey, what's my guiding light? What's my roadmap for life? What are the 10, 20 things that are so important to me that at the end of the day, I can look at that list and say, was I kind? Did I lead with grace and compassion? So I'll mention some of the ones
I would love that.
yeah, it's really interesting, actually. So, temperance, which is eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. So, that's basically like not overeating, not over drinking. That's typical. A lot of people have that on their list. There's silence. So, speak not what may benefit others or yourself and avoid trifling conversation. I kind of took that to mean in the modern day, avoiding things like gossip or avoiding conversations that just are not uplifting or don't move you forward. There's order, resolution, frugality, industry, which is, I thought you would love this one. Industry is lose no time, always be employed in something useful, cut off all unnecessary actions. So that's like the real entrepreneurial spirit in there. There's sincerity, justice, moderation, cleanliness, tranquility, chastity, which is a little interesting and old school. I don't know about that one. And then humility. And I thought this reading about it and how he put this together and how he followed it was just really inspiring to me to just sit down and think through, what are my core values? What are the things that matter to me? What is the roadmap that I want to live by? And at the end of life, do I want to look back and say, wow, I really put a lot of attention on these specific things and it made my life that much richer. I don't know if you've ever thought about creating core values for yourself. Yes.
I've never heard him say that. That's so fascinating. But I actually have been reflecting and thinking about that a lot. My grandmother fell. I'm like getting emotional saying this, but woo. She's doing great, but wow, emotions are amazing. It comes out of nowhere.
It's beautiful to me because you care for her so much, and that just shows in the way that you talk about it. So let it flow, girl.
Let it go. No, we keep it real here at beeya. No, but the reason why I get emotional is because it's a beautiful thing. She talks a lot about how she lived this incredible life with her kids, and she shares these just amazing stories. And honestly, like the past 2 weeks since she had her incident, she's doing significantly better. Is I've just been like, man, like, am I living the life I want to live? Like, I am so passionate about being, and I know my higher calling is there, but I tend to kind of get lost sometimes with work. And I'm so grateful that we're impacting lives and there's mission behind it, right? Because I've been on the opposite side of that in terms of working hard in finance and I wasn't making an impact. So at least it's making a difference and it's what we're passionate about, right? But I always think like, what else can I be doing? Like, how else can I make an impact? Like, am I happy every day? Is my day designed in a way that makes me able to like be in my best self and make more of an impact? So, just her kind of going through her health scare recently is just making me be like, am I living the life? Am I spending time with people? And I obviously, me and UK family is really important, and we spend so much time with our family and friends, and it just makes me just want to do it even more and just make sure like who we're working with, what we're doing, like what kind of impact are we making at a bigger scale. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about just like life and just taking advantage because you just never know like what can come tomorrow. I mean, I'm so lucky for my own health, but it just makes me want to like take advantage and be the best version of myself and to make an impact even bigger.
100%.
So,
Yeah, I love that. And I had posted something last week that said, asking ourselves that question, just that question alone can change the trajectory of our lives that we don't often ask ourselves. How do you want to spend your days? How do I want to spend my days? I know a lot of people are in situations where they might have to work a job that they don't love, or they're in a situation that they can't get out of so easily. But there's small ways, right? There's small things that we can do. For me, I've been thinking a lot about, just because I've been in kind of the grind of motherhood and the grind of
Mhm.
work for, the past 2 years. I stopped and was like, I don't spend time on doing joyful things
Yeah.
that much. I don't spend time laughing as much. I
Mhm.
want to, like, one of my core values would be laugh every single
Mhm.
day, right? Like, have a moment of just pure joy and laughter, and playfulness. So I think it's really nice to take that time, especially we're coming up on the end of the year,
Yeah.
to just reflect back, but then also say, what are the things that I want to prioritize every single day? I thought that was really beautiful that Benjamin Franklin did this, and I hope to do something like this myself very
Yeah.
soon.
I love it. So beautiful, made me cry. That was a good one, Kaya. I can just listen to you the whole day. I want to keep this going.
Vice versa. I'm excited to hear what you got coming up next.
Okay, my next one, and this is something that I've had and have been doing for maybe almost like 8 years, and I swear by it. And I realize it made such a difference because it broke recently and I had to buy a new one. But I just got the Hatch Light. So basically, I had like a ghetto one before. I think it was, I don't know who made it, maybe like Samsung, but the concept was similar. So I finally just upgraded to Hatch. But essentially, it's an alarm clock that wakes you up with light. And I am not a morning person by any means. Like, I actually, as I've been able to get my sleep hygiene better, which has been a huge thing for me over the years, and sleep earlier and on, mostly on time most weeks, at least during the week, I've been able to be more of a morning person, but I'm definitely not like UK. I know you wake up early and you function. My sister's like that. I'm like, I wish I was like that. But having this alarm clock, essentially, you can decide what time you wake up. And then about 30 to 40 minutes before, it will slowly, gradually turn on and kind of like mimic the sun rising. And I just, the way I wake up is so much more joyful. I swear I feel like I'm in a better mood when I wake up. And I didn't realize how much of an impact it made until this old one that I had just stopped working. So I was just waking up with like a normal alarm in the dark. And I was like, oh God, I do not like this at all. So it sounds super basic, but I love it. And what's cool about Hatch is they have also like all these different peaceful noises that you could choose for the morning. So again, like the alarm clock, the easiest hack is just find like an alarm that is, you know, inspiring to you. It's not so jolting. And they also have a wind down routine. So, like, sometimes I'll get in my room a little bit earlier and you can put like a sound bath or whatever sound you like. And it's just helping you kind of wind down and get you set up for sleep. So, it's been amazing. I swear by this. I've been using it for years, even when my sleep wasn't good. And it just makes the mornings so much more enjoyable for me.
Oh my gosh, that's so important to not wake up in fight or flight,
Yes.
right? And sometimes those alarms, they have those videos that make jokes about like the iPhone alarms versus the Android alarms, and the Apple alarms are just like, "Meh, meh," like it's like
Yes.
in your face, right? So I love the Hatch. I have one for Leela. I'll admit I haven't played with all the features, but I know that you mentioned a friend of ours, Dina. She uses it with her kids in a very specific
Yeah.
way. Like, certain noises can come at a certain time, or it can
Mhm.
be like playful birds or a rainstorm. So the Hatch is great. I love it. I'm excited to get one for myself too. And then start to wake up maybe with some light or some gentle noise, and not like a tiger in my face.
Yeah, you're
Um,
right, because that's true. I'm like, why do I love it so much? Because I used to wake up with fight or flight, like just naturally, and I've done tests, and my cortisol's high. So I think, to your point, it makes it a little bit easier, and I'm a little bit more joyous and relaxed. So that's a great point.
Totally. And I kind of have heard from you that you've been waking up a little bit earlier these days, and you're actually starting to like it. Is that true?
I
Or
listen.
are
I'm
you-
I'm dying to be an early morning person. I remember before I was in wellness, like all these people I would admire, which now I have a different take on it. They'd be like, oh, to be successful, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. and do this and that. Now I know you have to honor your body and like what feels good. Like 5 a.m. for me, no. When I say a morning person, I will never in my life be a 5 a.m. one. But if I could wake up and like I can wake up early, but to have that clear mind and not feel tired upon waking up, where you feel like, oh, I can just take on the day, is a dream. And I have been sleeping earlier and it does help. Like sometimes I don't even have my coffee in the morning. Like if I get a good night's rest, it's game changing.
Oh my,
So yeah, I love waking up with you guys.
no
Sometimes I'll like
coffee in the morning? What?
sometimes I'll wait like an hour if I feel good. But yes, it's rare, but yeah, I'm trying to wake up with you guys early in the morning and function.
Yeah, for me, it's gotten a little bit earlier. I've always been like a 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m. person. It's gotten a little bit earlier now with my daughter in my life because that's the only time that I have to myself. And I'm not a night person, guys. I am so not a night person. After the sun sets, I'm like, can I go to sleep right now? So by the end of the day, I'm just clean the house and then I want to crash. I can't even think. I don't have time to plan or anything like that. So I've gotten up a little bit earlier these days because it's nice, just to have a little time to yourself before the toddler comes like tornadoing through the house.
Well, I want to say one thing because you said I am such a night person. Like I have to actually wind myself down because I get this like second wind. It's super strange. Like it's not good at all, but I am not plugging our product, but truly it helps. Like in my wind down, the magnesium, I know I've been taking it for a long time. We've been wanting to bring it, but just getting that ritual in place for me to wind down because I'm not like you, Kaya. Like I just have more energy, and the magnesium just helps relax me and gets me ready for my bedtime routine. So I love it.
I agree. I love our magnesium for so many different reasons. And it's called Be a Vibe if no one has checked it out yet, or if you love it, we would love to hear from you. But the reason I love magnesium so much for me personally, and I think I've shared this before, is during my pregnancy, I was having so many symptoms. I was having pain, like cramping in my leg. I was having some heart palpitations and stuff that I just didn't understand. And magnesium has been a lifesaver for me. When I'm not on top of it, the anxiety picks up. I'm just prone to become more magnesium deficient. And we've learned so much about magnesium deficiency in creating our product and writing about our product and researching for this product. And it's something like 75% of people don't get the RDA, so the recommended amount of magnesium daily. And then if you're an active person, so if you're physically active, if you sweat, you need 10 to 20% more than the RDA. So already most of us are not getting enough. And then if you work out at all, you need even more than that. So we just love this product. It's like our dream product, and we're so excited that it's out there in the world.
Yeah, well, this is not going to be our third favorite thing, but I had to talk about it. I was like, I don't want to only bring up BS stuff, but it just went into our nighttime routine. So
Yeah,
I had to bring it
I
up.
get so passionate about magnesium. So if you start,
Seriously.
I have to keep going. Well, speaking of getting up early, I always, not always, it's a little bit tougher now with my daughter, but I love to get up in the morning and have coffee and plan with my coffee. And I have bought so many planners. Like, I kid you not, I'm a planner
Yeah.
connoisseur. I've tried so many different ones, and I always go back to this planner. It's my favorite planner. It's the High Performance Planner by Brendan Burchard. It's on Amazon and I think at Barnes and Noble, and we'll link to it. And this planner is so good. It's a little bit big, which is kind of annoying. Some people want something smaller, but I
Yeah.
don't mind it because I just kind of keep it at home. It's such a nice way to start the day because it's very intentional with the planning. He asks beautiful questions in there, like, what is one word to describe the way that I want to show up today? I love that question. So it can be, I want to be gentle, I want to be brave, whatever it is. And then it's another question of, who needs me on my A game today? So you think about the people in your life. One day it could be, okay, well, Yasmin needs me on my A game with beeya, or my daughter needs me on my A game because I want to play with her, or my mom or my dad or whoever it is. And then another question is, who is somebody that I can surprise with a note or a gift or a message of gratitude? And I love these intentional questions because I think a lot of us can relate to just waking up in the morning and letting the day take us on versus us taking on the day. And so for me, it's really important to have some intention, but I can't do it by myself. Like, I can't work out without a trainer or a teacher, and I can't plan without somebody asking me specific questions. So I'm obsessed with this planner. I've been using it for the past, since COVID started.
I
And I recommend
remember.
it. Yeah, I recommend it to so many people. And I've tried every planner. I kid you not, guys. I've tried
Yeah.
every planner out there, and this one is the best one.
Yeah, you got me on that. I remember I was doing it for a little bit and I did really like it. The only thing that I'm still figuring out with when you write down the day, like I love the questions and I haven't done it in a while, but like it's also reflective on the day. So I love the beginning intention, the reflective. The hourly scheduling, how do you like manage it if you have to move something? Do you know what I mean? Do you use that, or it's mostly the questions and the intentions in the beginning and then the end of the day?
Yeah, that's a good question. I use it in the morning at least so I can look ahead and write down. I'm the type of person that not only needs to use my Google Calendar, but I also need to write it out.
I
So at
see.
least it's an opportunity for me to say, all right, looking ahead, this is kind of what I have planned. So I do that every morning. I don't do it in advance. Typically, my
I
schedule
see.
doesn't change, the day of. And if it does, no biggie. It's more for me to kind of say, all right, what's my day looking like ahead?
Yeah, I love that. I guess you're right because you're doing the day of. And I feel like when you write it down, it's like more realistic because you're like, okay, this is going to take me from this hour to that hour. And something
Yeah.
about writing it versus having it only live on your Google Calendar is
Yes.
interesting. But I love that. I didn't know you brought it back. I remember when you were really into it. I guess it was that COVID. Oh my
That
gosh,
was
so long
COVID.
ago.
Yeah, I brought it back. I really wanted to start being intentional about my mornings
Yeah.
again. And so, gosh, I love this planner so much. And I'm also the type of person that I can't, there's some planners where it's just write the biggest thing that day, like a date book.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I need an hour by
Yeah.
hour. I need to know what's happening every hour. Otherwise, it can all get lost in the mix. So I'm happy
I
to have it
love
back.
that. No, I love that. And what you said about like being proactive about your day, because all of us can easily be taken out by the day, right? Things will always come up, whether it's work, personal, family life. Like it's so easy to be like, wait, where did the day go? And you being intentional about it in the morning and taking that time, like 10 minutes, right? It could just feel like I'm curious to get your thoughts, but like, do you feel just like more free, like you like less overwhelmed when you do it?
So much less overwhelmed because
Yeah.
the alternate, which I was doing before, get up, turn my phone right on, and then there's a million emails, there's text message, there's people that I have to get back to, there's some sort of crisis happening, and then you know,
Always.
then you just feel nuts.
Yeah.
But this is really nice, and I implement a form of habit stacking, which I talked about in one of our newsletters. I love to have my morning cup of coffee, and I know that planning makes my day so much better, and I just kind of combine the two. So it feels like a really nice ritual to have. And I'm all about implementing rituals these days so I can feel a little sense of
Yeah.
control because, you never know where the day takes us. So this has been one that's been really great for me.
I love it. And one thing we had the founder of Mary Ruth Organics on the Monday podcast where I interview entrepreneurs, and she has 4 kids, an incredible business that, can I look up to? She's like such an inspiration. She still gives time to people. She's just amazing. And she swears by time blocking. And this woman has gone through so much personal pain. A lot of things have happened to her outside of the business that you're just like, how did she overcome so much in her life and not only overcome, create this incredible business, have 4 kids, be happily married? And she swears by time blocking and how it has helped her in the most difficult of chaotic times. So there's definitely something there. She mentioned that a few years ago. So I'm all about it.
What
Totally.
an
100%.
inspirational woman. I'm
She
so
really
inspired
is.
by her every single day.
I know. She's really incredible. All right. It's so tough for me to boil this down to 3 things. If you look at my notes, I'm like crossing out a few stuff. I have 2 that are here. Let's
Share
see.
them both.
Well, one is quick. Okay. I know I'm like, one is really quick, but it's these acne patches. So for me, I'm like, whenever I find something amazing, I'm always like, why don't people talk about this? Kind of like seed cycling. I did it and I'm like, what the heck? You're telling me like these seeds changed my hormones and I wasn't dying of cramps. I'm like, we need to talk about it. So I had a very similar reaction with these acne patches, like those little stickers. Again, I might be late to the game. I never really took them seriously. I didn't know it could work. But there's a brand, Peach and Lily, and I love the founder, Alicia Yoon. Are you familiar with them, Kaya?
Yes, I have their glass skin
Yeah.
moisturizer. Oh, so
Uh-huh.
nice.
I just got like all their glass skin stuff. I'm a big fan, and they're like inspired by Korean beauty, and it's clean. I love it. And I love the founder, Alicia. And so I can go through all their products, but the one that I'm like, God, this thing works is these acne patches. Like, you literally put these stickers, and I know there's a lot of brands out there, but I significantly see my acne go down. Like, let's say you have something come up and it's like 30% less in the morning, which is pretty wild. You use it for a few days and it's gone. Like, I'm talking about those big cystic ones. I tend to still get that sometimes. So I love it, and it's so reasonably priced. I forgot the exact amount. It was like maybe $9 for like a few, a handful of stickers. But I love that. So I know that's not like a wellness thing, but listen, it changes my life. So
No, I mean those things are really nice to have on hand because
yes.
if you're traveling, I've used the ones by Pacifica before and they
Okay.
worked really well, but I'm gonna check out the peach and lily ones. Such a nice little tool to have just in your purse or while you're
Yeah.
yeah.
And you can put it on. I haven't gone out, but it kind of like, people don't even see the sticker. It blends in with your skin, so it's really fascinating. So I'm a big fan of that. And every morning I wake up, I'm like, man, this thing works. So the other one that I had, this is something new. So Kay and I recently interviewed Jessica. She's one of the founders of the Tapping Solution, and she talked about EFT tapping. I won't get into it because we did a whole hour podcast on it, but at a high level, you're basically tapping different meridian points, and it's supposed to help. And Kaya, you might be able to explain it better, but like stress, whether, whatever you're dealing with, it could be stress, anxiety, limiting beliefs. Some people use it for like trauma, right? I think she was saying there was a lot of research around that. But the reason why I love it, and I recently got on Jessica's app, the Tapping Solution, and it has hundreds of different options. And what's so cool about that is they have like 10-minute tapping options or 3-minute ones. So again, for me, I'm like, what is easy wellness wise that's going to make me feel better, that is easily incorporated in my busy life, right? Like, I love all that stuff, like the treadmill I talked about. This is one of the ones. And I've only been doing it now for about a week, so I'm still a beginner. But what I love so much about it is that every morning, like, I've wanted to meditate. I've tried different things. The one thing that has stuck, if anything more than others, is Tony Robbins has like this morning meditation, which he kind of guides you, and it's like affirmations and stuff. But what's cool about tapping is it's giving me the affirmations that I need for that time. So I'm doing this gratitude, like a 21-day gratitude one. And I have a gratitude journal at night, but I've been wanting to incorporate something like before I start the day. And I think Jessica, and I know her brothers are on it too, but I've only listened to her, like, the words she uses is so beautiful. Like, literally, I was tapping the other day and I started tearing up just from gratitude, because the way she speaks is just, it really touches you. I don't know if it's a combination probably of the tapping too, but like, even if I wasn't tapping, I would love to listen to her. It's very inspiring. It's super motivational. And I know after, interviewing her, she was just saying like how well researched tapping is. And I'm like, man, let me do this. Like, if I feel overwhelmed, to start tapping. I know there's one about like winding down for sleep. I tried that once, which was really nice. And they have this like very calming music in the background. So I've been really enjoying it. It's like an easy way to pause in the day, whether it's starting your morning, which I did with the gratitude one, or if I'm feeling like overwhelmed or I need a break. It's just a nice way for me to pause and do something active, because I'm not someone that can sit in silence and meditate. I wish. It's just not me. So doing something that's calming, quick, and effective, I'm like, sign me up. This sounds incredible. So I've been really enjoying it so far.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just downloaded the app 2 days ago. And just like you said, I used to be somebody who could sit and meditate. That's just not me anymore. I also need a coach in that area. I know what areas of my life I need guidance.
Yeah.
And this app is really cool because you're getting that guidance. And it's not just sitting there closing your eyes and trying to meditate, which doesn't work for some people. It's somebody's guiding you through it, and you get to move your hands, which is
Yeah.
really nice. I love that it incorporates some physicality in there, and it's not
Mhm.
just, hey, sit as still as possible. And just like you said, Jessica's words are so, I mean, that
Yeah.
podcast sheet we did with her was so beautiful. And I'm loving the app. There's so many different ones. There's calming an anxious mind if you can't sleep at night. There's there's all different types of ones. I mean, you can literally just search what you're looking for, and they have a tapping, I guess they call it meditation or tapping guided event for that specific thing. So I love it too. I'm just getting started, but I think we'll probably have her back on the
Yeah.
podcast. I think we were both very inspired after that one.
Totally. Shoot, is that it? Is that all of our things?
I think that's all of our
All
things.
right. Well,
Yeah.
if you've made it this far and you've listened to us, let us know what you think. Kay and I are trying a few different things. We're always trying to add value and help. So email us, at hi@beeyawellness.com or DM us on Instagram. We'll put that in the show notes. Let us know if this was helpful, because we're always trying different things and texting each other. So we're happy to share it if others want to know too.
Yeah. And if you guys have any fun things you want to share with us for us to try,
Yes.
we are open ears. So yeah, this was so fun, Yaz.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.